I love this class. I love all of them. I love this one. The Call of Duty. This class is inspired by the many hats that we wear, and sometimes it just seems difficult to keep going on. But I want to encourage you today because if you're in, especially Christian education, you're here because you were called to be here. A lot of daycares that are not accredited and not Christian, a lot of those workers are there just because it's a job. But when you choose to be in Christian education, it's because you have been designed and created to work with God's children. So, hats off to all of you. I'm a Christian educator. I was a teacher. I still call myself a teacher, even though my teachers keep telling me, get out of my room, you're the director. Once a teacher, always a teacher. So, I just want to honor and respect each and every one of you. And keep doing, you are doing a fabulous job. I don't even know what you do, but I know what you do, if you get what I'm saying. You have a very hard job. So, all of you are in duty. You have a line of duty. And that's why we have the Army picture up there, because sometimes it's it's always a battle. Every single day, you have to be the nurse, you have to be the mommy, you have to be the daddy, you have to be the referee. But they're all a part of what we sign up to do. And God will give us the ability to do it. So, the Bible tells us that we should train up a child in the way that he should go. And when he is old, he will not depart from it. As you see, I underlined the word old because sometimes we feel like that means now. But it does not mean that. Our job is to give them really Jesus every single day. And when I think of Jesus or God, and there's different people, but when I think of the word Jesus or I think of the word God to a child, the word that comes to me is love. So every single day, even when they're not listening or they don't have on their listening ears, they should still see love. Okay? Even when we're redirecting them, trying to get the most difficult child to just do right, they should know that we love them. Because how many times have we fallen short ourselves as adults? And if we could only be a little bit as gracious as God is to us, we would be awesome teachers. Okay, so let's just remember that. All righty, so how many of you remember the game Concentration? Concentration. All right, so this can get kind of interesting. We're going to play this game since we just had lunch and we need to get a little energized. The game of concentration. So if you have not played this, you have to have some rhythm. Okay, so we're going to take a little practice. So you slap your legs, clap your hands, snap your fingers, clap your hands. So it's going to take us a little while. There we go. We got it. You have it? Okay. So you have to do this and talk at the same time. All right? So when we go through this game, I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. If you get off, then start back up. Okay? So when you get the directions, let's see, I lost my train of thought. I'm going to give you what to say, but you have to do it on the right beat. Okay? So for instance, let me do it around. Okay? So concentration. This is the game of concentration. No repeats or hesitation. Starting with girls' names. Okay? So, we're going to go on the line. When we do this, you have to give your answer. If you don't give it on the legs, you're out. You have to do it on the beat. So you have to think really fast. Okay? Ready? We're going to do it again. We're going to do it so. It goes like this. It goes that fast with kids. But we will be here all day. We'll never get anywhere. So let's start over. Concentrate. You can say it. Concentration. This is the game of concentration. No repeats or hesitations. I'll go first and you'll go second. The topic is girls' names. I'm going to go first. Rebecca. some grumpy children. It will make them laugh. Okay, now you have to judge this game on your group of students. If you have those that can't get it, you might have to just do clap, snap. And some of them can't snap either. So you might have to do clap, clap. Okay, all of this, they might not be able to get that. Okay, or you can just clap. Okay, and that means as long as they say when you clap, they still get it. Okay, so you have to change it up. All right, very good. Let's talk about it. So we're going to share, since this group is small enough for us to be able to do this. So I want everyone to look at these 3 bullets and choose one to answer. Are you called to teach? What is your story? Did early childhood choose you, or did you choose it? What do you love most about the calling to teach? Are you equipped to answer the call of duty? And what do you love most about teaching? I would say the early childhood chose me. Ever since I have 3 sisters. I'm the oldest, it's 4 girls. I have 5 boys and I have 3 sisters. I said my mom did that to me because she always wanted a boy. So God bless her. And I don't know why he chose me, but he did. So now she has 5 grandchildren. So since I had 3 sisters, my mom was a nurse. So you know, nurse working hours, they work nights. My dad was a fire captain. So he worked 24 hours. In the transition of them working, they used to do the split shift when they made sure that one person was there. But as we got a little bit older, they thought it was older. I was 9, probably. I had the responsibility of caring for my sisters while they were at work. So I became the mommy most nights. I absolutely loved it, though. You know, I didn't feel like it was a burden. I absolutely loved it. I actually learned how to do hair, so I went to cosmetology school because I had to do their hair, you know, a lot of things I had to do. So I believe I have been taking care of children ever since I was 9. Started with my sisters. And then I'll say about 12, I've always loved children. So in church, you would see me and a bunch of children sitting with me. I mean, you know. Most summers I spent watching other people's children. At the age of 15, I cared for a baby that was hydrocephalic. And that was 15. So mom went to work, and I stayed home with the baby, learned how to put in her feeding tube, learned how to put her measurements on her feeding, because I had such a passion for children. And I thought I wanted to be a pediatric nurse until the baby died, and then that was the end of it. So I still get emotional talking about it. Because I remember seeing her come from the hospital, and actually, she was a vegetable. When she saw me, she would smile, she started cooing, and she did all this stuff. And to actually watch her go through the surgeries, and she started eating on her own. And her very last surgery, which was only cosmetic, it was just to get her head formed, because you know, with all the fluid, to get her head formed right, in the middle of surgery, she stopped breathing. And that was her very last surgery. It tore me up. So I watched her every summer she died when so it was a full summer, because she died before she was a year old, but right at 11 months she died, and that was so hard. So the passion to be a pediatric nurse, I said, it took me a long time to get over. I still have pictures of her, and it still gets me. But I still love children. You know, I just have to deal with the healthy ones. You know, because my heart was just too much. So even when I met my husband, I think we were 14 or whatever, some way back, we were teaching Sunday school classes at 14, leading them. Every church I've been to, which I've only been in 3, I'm not a church hopper, don't judge me. But I've been to 3 churches, and I always end up over in children's church, working in children's church. Plus I'm a preschool director, so it doesn't matter. Children is my future, my past, present, everything. I can't get away from it. And I have 5 children. So, hey, that's my story. Everybody can take a turn. Feel free not to take as long as I did. But if you want to share, go ahead. Yes, ma'am.
I truly believe that I was chosen to come into early childhood education. I was selling floor covering for about 17 years, and when the building industry went bust and I didn't have any more clients, the Lord opened up an opportunity to go to college on a grant. And I had started in the children's ministry by accident. And from there, the opportunity for us, the grant and to go to school opened up. So I've always felt like the Lord kept opening those doors for me.
You just laid that right in your
Yes,
lap.
He did. And then
Wow.
to be able to actually teach at the Christian school that my daughter has attended since she was 4.
Wow.
That opening came open just as I graduated. I was just blessed.
How big can you be? Anybody else would like to share?
When I was a little girl, I'd sit outside on the grass and I'd have all my dolls all around me. And my grandmother would say, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm taking care of my babies." And when I watched TV and I'd see, baby children or helping baby children and I'd adopt a child, I told my grandmother, I want to adopt children. And I worked, I babysat a lot. I remember I made 50 cents an hour babysitting. But at 12 years old, I started. When I was 18, I started working in daycare. I'm 45, and it's all I know, it's all I've done. I love it. I love learning about it. I think they're fascinating. I love how they work and how they think, and I can't picture being else.
I can tell. Your voice is just making me want to just sit in your I wish I had that little voice. I'm so loud. I have to make myself sound so quiet.
And I got 2 adopted children.
Oh, I mean, I just want to sit and you rub my shoulders. Anybody else?
When I was about 5 or 6 for Christmas, I got a nurse's outfit. I had the white dress and the cape and the hat. So I was going to be a pediatric nurse. And I babysat a lot. I had a brother who was born when I was like 10 and a half, and I did most of the taking care of him. But then I decided that I could not give shots to little babies. So I went into teaching.
All right. Very nice stories. Very nice stories. Okay, so let's get down to the survival kit because we all need that. The 3 things in the survival kit is submission, because you have to submit to this. Except that I am an early educator, I'm proud of it, because honestly, some people will ask you, so what do you do? And as soon as you say, real quick, I work in preschool, they go, you literally see their head drop. But when I think it's the way we present it, I'm an educator and I love it. So it doesn't matter what they think when I come with that, even if they don't like it, they go, oh great, she must like what she does. But you almost find yourself, if you're not careful, embarrassed to say what you do because of the response that you receive. So accept it. You're an early educator and be proud of it. Prayer and plan, that comes together. Before you go into the classroom, please, if you just take a minute, you need to pray and cover yourself and all of your children. You may face something very difficult, and if you're not praying up for that day, you might just say something, not nothing really bad, but, you might just lose it. Also, we all are human. So, for an example, I have 5 boys. To get all of us out of the house with everybody's shoes and everything, and I have to be to work at 7:20, sometimes it involves, I said, let's go. I'm going to be late. Where's your homework? Where's your shoes? Oh, why are you still in the bed? By the time you do all of that, and then of course you pull up to the car lines, have a good day, sweetie. Then my son goes, my middle schooler, yeah. And I always know when we have a good morning, because when we have a good morning, he always, no matter what, he looks back and says, bye, Mom. When I made him upset, he just shuts the door. I'm like, oh, he didn't tell me bye. I messed up. But he's always happy to see me when I pick him up. So we all have mornings that way, even if you don't have children. If you have a husband, sometimes, by the time you shove him 4 times, tell him to wake up and he's still sleeping, that might aggravate you. Or if your coffee pot broke and you have to have your cup of coffee. So, but just say a quick prayer, Lord, because he already seen everything. He saw the good, the bad, and the ugly. Lord, I'm sorry for how I acted. Please cover me and protect me. Lord, I pray for every child that's in my classroom, all of their families, because all 12 of those little ones had to go through the same thing. They have parents, and you can tell what parents are like, goodbye, Johnny. And they look at you like, good luck. They have hard morning. So we have to be prayed up because we don't have the opportunity to bring that into our classrooms. Not with little ones, because they're sponges. They will soak up everything. And they'll come to you and say, are you sad, Miss White? I'm thinking, oh, Lord. No, I'm not. Are you angry? Absolutely not. They can read through you, especially if they have a relationship with you and they know you. So if you come in and you're not, I'm sure every day you're jittery like that. But say, for instance, you came in and you didn't sound like that. They can sense that something is wrong. But prayer will help cover that. And of course, have a curriculum. Our curriculum starts with the Bible. There are a lot of lessons that you can learn. And what we do at our school is, no matter if we're teaching shape, science, math, it starts with the Bible. And then we take the Bible and incorporate it with what we're teaching. So the children know that the Bible is practical. You know, it's an everyday thing. Because sometimes we think of it as an old document. You children, it's ancient, thou, dust, and all that stuff. But they can apply it to their lives even as little ones. So those are the three things. We're going to talk a little bit about it. What does the Bible say about these things? I'm not going to read every scripture, but James 4:7 says, submit yourselves therefore to God. Resist the devil and he will flee from you. That says something about submitting. You have to submit to God first, number one, and then submit to your responsibility as an early educator. Praying. Pray without ceasing. Never stop praying. Pray day and night. Even in the middle situation, when those two just won't stop fighting, or when that 50th cup of milk has spilled on the table, you might say, "Lord Jesus, help me," and then clean it up. You know, one quick prayer, you might have to do it. In everything, give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus concerning you. Many are the plans in the person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails. Always have a plan. If I walk into a classroom and there's no lesson plan, that's one of my pet peeves as a director. Now, as a teacher, did I do everything on my lesson plan? No. Most days, I may check off 2 things off of it because the children just took me in a different direction. But I have a plan. If you do not have a plan, you're asking for it. You're asking for it, I'm telling you. Use the children to guide you, but you have to start with something. So always have a plan. Always have a plan every day. What am I going to do today? Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. Those are all scriptures to help us with this kit. Another part of this kit is innovativeness, infilling, and outpouring. Those are 3 things that are very important in the call of duty. Colossians 3:23 says, and whatsoever you do it heartily as to the Lord and not unto men. Think of this, I think of this, when that parent who's always right, who's really always wrong, or the parent who's complaining about everything. You just can't do anything right for this parent. I mean, down to, it's too cold in this classroom. But yesterday it was too hot. And you turn it down just for them and it's too cold. Remember that God knows what you're doing. And you're really working towards Him. And here's a good scenario. When you get your paycheck, you think about everything you've done, and it just doesn't line up. It doesn't have enough zeros behind it. Know that you're working for Him. And our rewards sometimes do not come in money. It may come with that hug, or it may come the one time a year when it's teacher appreciation, when you get the nice letter that says, we really do appreciate you. You're thinking, really? It took you all year to tell me that? I suggest, and this is getting a little bit off topic, but I have a blue folder that I collect all of my cards, everything, notes, cards, everything. And when I'm having a real bad day, or I feel like I'm just not effective, I read some of those cards. Or I get the picture that says, I love you, Miss White. And it might be 3 years old, but that really helps me out. Say, okay, they do love me. I can do this. Because you just don't feel appreciated. You don't. Because parents expect you to take care of their child while they're at work. Basically, that's what they want you to do. Now, they do want you to love them and care for them and teach. But basically, watch them so I can go work so I can take care of them. You know. And sometimes we feel like that. When you want to say, hey, I'm much more than that. When they fail, do you know I took my time to make sure they were okay? Or when you just pushed them in on me, didn't even say goodbye or a hug, you ruined their whole entire day. Because some children, they can feel when their parents are done with them. You know, like, Here you go, have a good day. Or sometimes they just say, good morning, Miss White, and walk out. The children sometimes, and they'll say, but I didn't get to hug mommy. I didn't get to hug. And then they have breakdowns and meltdowns all day, just from that one hug. Mommy didn't see that you took 5 minutes to take them in the corner to give them a little bit more attention, to give them more hugs because they didn't get it. And to say, I know I'm not mommy, but I'm Miss White, and I'm giving you a hug, and I want you to save a hug for mommy when she comes back. They didn't see that. And their world was all great. All they saw was goodbye and hello. Especially those parents who you have to really run down and talk to because they're always so busy. You just want to tell them that one good thing that their child did, they don't have time, you know. They don't see how much time you pour into these little ones, okay? It had nothing to do with being innovative, but it was a good nugget. Okay, let's talk about infilling, which is very, very important. I want to take a few minutes to talk about this because as Christian educators, as early educators, we always pour out, but we rarely pour in. And this story that I have, but I'm not going to take the time to read it, I'm going to just explain it to you. I don't know if you ever heard about the Giving Tree story. Have you? That's an early educator. It's not just a mom, it's an early educator. Basically, we give all that we can until we have nothing left. But if you never put things in, one day you're going to get a situation and you're not going to have anything. I don't know if you ever, I've had situations in my class where I just felt like quitting because I just couldn't get this child to learn. Or I just can't get him to stop doing this. Or I just can't get this parent satisfied, you know. Or they're just not listening. They're just running over. They don't care, you know. That's because you have nothing inside. You have not built yourself up. You need to take some time to build yourself up. When is the last time you got a pedicure? Or when is the last time you went to a movie? When is the last time you just sat before the Lord and listened to some worship music just to let him fill your heart? Because we're always so busy doing, giving, but never putting in anything into ourselves, and that's important. As moms, I don't know if most of you are probably moms. We do that a lot. But think about it, as much as we give, if something happens to us, Lord knows, my poor husband, if something happens to me and he has 5 boys to raise by himself, that would be hard. So I have to think about myself. You know, I have to think about my getting my exercise in, getting this and that. That's what I'm doing now. I'm changing my mentality because I can't be so busy that I don't take care of me. Because then, sometimes if you don't infill yourself, your body goes in, and you get up one morning and you can't move. Oh my gosh, I'm so sick. I don't know what's going on. And it's just because you didn't take the time to rest. Rest is important too. That's a part of infilling. Get your sleep. Don't stay up till 1 and 2 in the morning. Washing dishes or folding laundry, it'll be there the next day, okay? Take some time to fill yourself up, okay? Outpouring. We have this one down pat, so we don't need to spend but a minute on this one because we do that a lot. One person freely gives and gains even more, okay? So those are 3 things that are very, 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 very important, okay? So let's talk about how do we do these things. I believe that when you take the step to get your credentials, which most probably all of you have, that's one form of accepting, I want to do this. Because you're getting further credentials. You didn't just show up and say, give me the children. Okay? You want to learn more about it. Getting degrees and all that stuff. Today, you are accepting it because you're taking your Saturday, which is your day off, to come to learn more about how you can be a better educator, or just to get, sometimes you know all these things. Most of the workshops, let me give you a little secret. Most of these workshops, you know most of the things, but you just need a reminder sometimes to pull it back out to say, okay, I know this, I got this, I'm an educator, I can do it. Okay? So that's another way to accept and submit. Prayer and plan, you need to have goals. And this goes beyond your lesson plan. You should have individual goals for all of your students. You can't have one goal for everybody because all of them are learning on different levels. All of them need different things. So I would it's a good thing to set different goals for your children and have a vision. See yourself outside of your 4 walls. You know, if you could do anything you could with your classroom, what would you do? Lesson plans, again, very important. Have good lesson plans. Now, with your lesson plans, please feel free to use your students to help you. put my children in a circle, sit in front of them and say, okay guys, what do you want to learn about? They will give you some random stuff like cheeseburgers and say, wait a minute, cheeseburgers. But get them to give you some ideas. And you can also give them a topic and ask them, what do you want to know about dinosaurs? Write those things down and let them help you write your lesson plan. Because if they gave it to you, they'll be interested when you teach them. Because they know they gave you the topics and all that stuff. Okay? Innovativeness. Okay. You don't really have, you can pretend to be creative. Because if you have a computer, if you have Wi-Fi or the website, you can Pinterest, you can be this creative. You look so creative. All the teachers say, wow, where did you get that from? Pinterest. I hear that all the time. But there's a lot of, use your resources. Do not think it only has to come from your brain. It's out there, use it. And bring that stuff into your classroom so you can be creative in what you do. There's lots of books, and also use your coworkers. They have some good ideas. I don't know if you guys do team teaching sometimes, but if you have two-year-old classrooms, I encourage my teachers to do that, to get together and do one big project together. It makes it, the parents like to see, because sometimes the parents like to judge rooms, I wonder if I chose the best two-year-old classroom. Oh, that room seems like they always have fun, but you guys don't have any fun. Or when they come down the hallway with the toy, well, are we having show and tell? No, this is for Mrs. Jones' class. And they look like, why don't we ever have show and tell? So if you do things together, it eliminates some of that compare and contrast things. Every teacher is different, but it's good to collaborate on some things. And they know that this is a team effort, so they can't go to you and say, Miss Jones, why doesn't she do anything? Because they'll try that. Parents will try that. Okay, so use your coworkers and your director. A lot of teachers don't want to use a director as a resource. I go in the classrooms, I do bulletin boards, I help reorganize the classroom, I help them clean. They especially call me when they have someone with a messy clothes or something like that, because I think they should be focusing on teaching, not all the other stuff. I know all directors are not like that, but if you ask them for suggestions, some of them will say, wow, you want to know, you want my help? And they are a good resource. So go to them and say, you know what, I want to teach about trees. Do you have any ideas that I can incorporate in my classroom? And the floodgates are just open. Then you won't be able to get rid of her because you use her. Sometimes directors are just put on a shelf, and they're only used for problems. Miss White, come and get Johnny, he threw a chair, So use their knowledge that they have, because that's why they have that job, because they have a lot of knowledge, most of them. So use them. Okay? Of course, I already spoke about scriptures and all this stuff. I used to have scriptures every year or every month that I just needed. A positive scripture that I can read to myself every day, Find that one scripture that you can stand on that will help and motivate you. No matter what you're going through, you can look at that scripture and it's just speaking volumes. Now, as your seasons change as a teacher and your individual lives, you will have to change the scripture. But that also will empower you if you could just glance over at your board and there's a little scripture at the bottom, or on your desk, or somewhere. In your car, some people put it on their steering wheel. Something to keep you going. Spending time with God. That's very, very important. Having goals and having a vision. We talked about having a vision. Lesson plan. We talked about lesson plan. Okay, outpouring is actually when you teach your sowing seeds, your planting seeds, your watering seeds, you're plucking up plants, you're doing all that stuff. You're doing a lot of outpouring. You also realize that you guys teach the parents too. You have to sometimes teach the parents how to be parents because they don't know. You are the expert. If you're a 3-year-old teacher, you're the 3-year-old expert. If you're the 4-year-old teacher, you're the 4-year-old expert. So sometimes I'll get parents so frustrated and say, I just can't get them to do this. And I say, well, it's age appropriate what they're doing. And I can show them, this says that a 3-year-old does this, or this says that a 2-year-old says mine, or a 2-year-old bites, or a 2-year-old they don't want to share because the egocentric, everything revolves around them. And they say, really? And you look so smart. You are smart. You know this, you know these things. But a parent would appreciate you more when you help them. Or sometimes I've had situations where parents would say, I cannot get Rebecca out of the car. Or, I told her she couldn't have that dog. No, I don't like that. I told her she couldn't have the doll. Miss White, can you tell her she can't have the doll in the classroom? I'm thinking, you're the parent. But if they say that they really tried, but they didn't want to go through the tantrums and all that other stuff. And sometimes it seems like the children respect you more because what I do is I say, and then just, not that I'm a meanie, but I have standards, they know the rules, and they don't push the buttons with teachers most of the time. They can kind of get away with stuff with parents because parents just don't want to deal with it. So they'll whine, have a fit, I don't want to do it. I'm taking my dog, and they just say, you know what, I'll let Miss Rebecca deal with this. I'm not dealing with this right now, and then you have to be the dad guy. What I do is turn it back on the parent sometimes, because you're not going to make me be the bad person all the time. So I say, Rebecca, did I ask you to give her that dog? And Mom's like, yes, I did. You know? She's sitting there like backing me up. Well, Mom, okay, I know you're a smart girl, and you're very obedient, so Mommy's going to ask you to give her that dog. I'm going to turn around. When I turn back around, I want to see my sweet Rebecca, okay? And then Mom goes, can I have the doll? She gave it to me. And then Mom was like, really? That's all you had to do, you know? And it worked. And then that way, Mom still has power. And you didn't say, I'm the big bad teacher and I have the rules. You put it back in Mom's plate. And then you gave Mom the tools because you modeled for her what she can do, you know? And that's really tricking the student, too. Because they feel like they chose to give it back. You didn't tell me to do it. I chose to do it when I wanted to. Okay? So that's another example of training a parent to be a parent without saying, aren't you the parent? I know you want to say that. Just tell her to give it back to me. You're the parent. You know, get it. Okay, we're nurturers and we're loving. Very loving. So I'm going to let you dream a little bit. Pretend like I have $1 million. Yes, Lord, I do. And I'm saying you have $1 million to do whatever you want to with your classroom. I want you to build your dream classroom. Think outside the box. Don't put puzzles in your classroom because we already have 1 million of those. Think of something that's way outside of the box. But you're going to do this by using Play-Doh. That's why you have Play-Doh. So I want you to design your own classroom. You can do it in groups. Use Play-Doh, get messy. It's okay. And design, and then after about 5 minutes, we're going to explain our model classrooms and why is that your dream? How are the kids going to benefit from this dream? Okay, I've got so many ideas. I told my husband if I take these ideas and write them down, I'm a sinner if I had the money, but that's a dream of mine. If you want to join, okay, so you don't have to do it yourself. I'm going to come around and see these dreams come to pass. If you don't want to work by yourself, you can do it. What does your dream classroom look like? Right, right. But you can also rotate it now, so they can work on now, this dinner, and then it also is an interesting plan, just for change it up, and give you more room.
I know my living room area, I think it's
Telephone all the way to the table. And I have big, huge box, of course, I don't wear a lot of presentation. But, Caprice box, it would come with duct tape, and it would just house up and down. But they have to have room to do it. And when it's in this little group, that's why you get picking it and throwing them out. I don't know what to do. So I would say, oh, is that large? State or where you get because I have property. They would say, and it's overstimulating. It is. And they don't jump. They just jump from center to center and spend 1 minute because it's so much. Do you have one that they don't you think? One that they use out. I know. A lot of our people incorporate. I know
Right.
dinner. The way so when the parents came to pick him up, they had this big huge around them like, thanks, it's fine. And the child was like, I'm gonna put this up in my room. And that was the way I could get rid of it. But all the behaviors I had on the way, they really wanted to take it from me. Now, of course, everybody has time to take it. So I was giving the most beautiful child, I made sure I found a way to make sure he earned it. You know, it was hard. But they loved taking it home. Even though the parents complained, they felt like if their child was so excited to take it home. They were like, gotta take this thing home. I'm gonna put it in my room. I'm gonna put it in the den. This is in the den. It was big and ugly, you know, because everybody painted and threw glitter on it. It was so good. Oh, they love it. But I heard some places, the state is trying to get rid of glitter. And say we can't use it. Glitter paint. Yes. So then the glitter people are more right. And it still has a shine. You're trying to make an angel and it's not sparkling?
Beth and I were
Do you hang those up?
I started off with some flowers and it's a lot of work.
So you have arts and crafts. Snowman, you have the extra snowman in front of them, trying to tell them, oh, no, that's not where it goes. Just put the materials out there and say, make a snowman. And they the square mountain, and you see on the wall, there's all the different things. But I want to practice I said, I like your artwork. You did a great job. Because you know that every last one of the people they're for. Somebody's head is going to be tilted a little bit or upside down. A little bit here and there. But it's allows them to just trace it out there. You can make your own snowman too. That would make perfection. Perfect. I was even talking to you. You're not even just say, make a snowman and then give them material. If it's not, they'll try to make it just like yours. Right. But you know, if they get frustrated, then you can say, you know, how can I help you? What does the snowman look like? Asking us open-ended questions, let them visualize it in their own head and let them do it that way. But if you have a printout, it takes all the creativity away from them. But that's what I do. Because they're like, I want the parents to come in and know this is a snowman. I said, they will if you write snowman on the top. It's solved. Easy. Nobody want to use the play though, huh? Okay, good. Well, we can share because I love talking and we'll be. Oh, it's 2 o'clock already. Wow. Okay, so let's let everybody give me one good thing that you came up with and share. Yes.
This would be for the 3-year-old room. Do away with tables and chairs because they cannot sit for a long time, and just have that thick rubberized mat. That way it's a soft surface, they can sit, it's comfortable, just mop it. And then for writing, developmentally, they don't write, on a flat surface. They need like a slant, like easel. So there'd be more easels or those
things are, okay, your turn. I'm sorry.
I was just, that we're blessed with large rooms that sit still and don't have, and I'm glad to have a true home living area, like have a true home living space where we can have the dress up, and that we rotate the kitchen in and out, but we don't have space for it. But I would love to have a more, you know, she just mentioned it, and even have like little washer and dryers that you can get now, you know, just have it like a true home living area where they could, and leave it, you know, so that we
Right.
could, and then the other thing,
And wood made out of wood, so they can't break that plastic.
yes. I want
And my
a
teachers
wood
complain
one.
about having the wood ones because they feel like it's outdated. So you just don't know how good you have it.
Yeah.
Everything is wooden. They're like, I hate these things. You need to love it. They last for years. The plastic things, they break and crack
They
it.
do. They do.
Did you have another idea?
What was that, the other one?
We have bathrooms in between each classroom. So, for example, my 2-year-old teacher was talking about this at lunch. She said, there's 2 of us with 10 2-year-olds trying to potty train. She said, we need our own bathrooms. And I saw it in your diagram up there, and I was like, I just wish I had bigger rooms that we could do bathrooms like that, so that they would have more
Right.
space. Like, I would just like to have bigger classrooms. Who wouldn't?
We all need bigger classrooms.
We do.
Except for these lucky ones over here.
We do.
The last ones have large rooms.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of early education rooms are just too small. Especially when you have to have this and this center and that center and that. By the time you finish, the kids are playing like this. They don't have no room.
She had another great idea too. She likes to do like hands-on activities.
Oh, yay. Me too.
And like cooking and things like that. And to be able to do that in your classroom instead of either not having the option or we have to run upstairs or across the building, across the building or
Muffins with
whatever.
them, like coffee maker. That kind of stuff is such a cool.
It is. Even if it's just an easy bake oven or something, not easy bake, but a little, what is it? Toaster oven or something, that would be good. That we can lock away and take out. That's a good idea. This screw?
I went with something similar to a little playhouse for gross motor, a small version inside the room with a ladder and slide and a little tree house.
I love that.
I went to a school, they had an all blue, I don't know if anybody is from the school. Calvary? Who is Calvary? But anyway, sorry. This school had an indoor playground, and I took pictures of it and took it to my head of school and said, we need this. I mean, it was soft surfaces, they had the big structure, and that's all it was. Nothing else. So the teachers would take a basket of balls or trucks and let them play, but it was just an open space with the soft structure and the big thing right in the middle of the school. And I said, oh, I'm so jealous. So all the teachers had a time schedule for rainy days that they could use it and still get their gross motor. It was awesome. So my administrator loved the idea, and he was measuring and pricing things, and it didn't go anywhere after that. But it was a good idea. He said, we're going to put that on our future list, okay? But it was wonderful. So these ideas, they'll help you. And you just never know. Sometimes God blesses a lot of people. And you might have that parent that say, you know, our business was blessed this year, and you're such a wonderful teacher, here's your check, do what you want. Now, if you've never dreamed about anything, you know, and you have to take a week to decide what you want, they might get a little impatient. So have your dream just sitting there, so when it happens, you can say, bam, gotcha! I want this, and this. But it's good to dream. And I've learned, too, that not only dream, but find a picture of it, put it somewhere. You know, even in your personal life. When you want a house, go. You know, if you want to live in a certain neighborhood, drive in neighborhoods, you know, walk around and claim the house, you know, all that stuff. Even it goes in the classroom because you never know what could happen. And it keeps you not looking at your present circumstance. Oh, this classroom is so small. But if you can just envision yourself somewhere else, you know, like that dream vacation that we do sometimes, we can hear the wind blowing with no children. Account that. It's good to dream. So keep the dream alive and keep dreaming. Okay. So the scripture says, and the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables that he may run. So again, make sure you don't have it just in your head, but you write it out. Okay? And feel free to share it with those that can do something about it. Because it's nothing like a teacher running to me and saying, we really need this. Because, and they go on and on and on and on and on. convincing me that they really need it. Because sometimes you feel like, as an administrator, I feel like teachers are asking for things and they're not going to use it. Because when I go in the room and I see all these things on the shelf that you're not using, and you're asking me for this special thing, well, why aren't you using that up there that has dust on it? You know, why is this thing so important? But if I see that you've invested time into it, you were excited about it, and you know, this would just be great, this is cutting edge, and you know, none of the preschools have it, all of a sudden say, yes, we want to get it, and figure out how we want to get it. So make sure you share that vision with your administrator, and it's teaching them, it's telling them and showing them that you care, that you want the classroom to be better, that you're thinking about the best interest of the school, because if the school looks better, they look better. And as parents come and they see something that most preschools don't have, they might be, sometimes when parents come to our center, I hear, oh, well, that center didn't have that, you know. I'm like, Jack. So, you know, if you have something offered, because it's so many daycares and preschools, I don't like to say the word daycare, but there's so many preschools everywhere. They're popping up everywhere. What makes you stand out? What makes your classroom stand out? You know, how are you different from the room next door to you? Do you have your own, do you have the it factor in your room? Even though we all have the same things, have you added your taste to it? You know, in dramatic play, I took a curtain from my house and stapled it to the wall, right behind the kitchen. And even you can put scenery, so you can take some paper and make an outside, you know, put sun and flowers, and then put the curtain, and it'll look like they're looking outside. And it's just paper and something from the house. You can bring lamps without the light bulb and stick it in your home living. It'll make it look like a real house. You can put an area rug. Well, you probably already have rugs. But there's certain things you can do to make it your own. Now, I did hear somebody say dress-up clothes. I took a command strip and made my own plastic hook and hung one little thing up on the wall. And, you know, that was my dress-up area when I had a very small area. So it's different things you can do that are affordable that you can bring to your classroom. I also share with the other class that make sure that your classroom has things for boys. So your husband's shoes that you want to throw out, bring those in. Bring his shirts that he's not wearing, because most of the classrooms cater to girls. In my boys' class, we talked about that. So make sure it looks like home living for all people, not just the girls. Not just the princess stuff and the heels. Have something for boys too. Okay? Okay, so this is talking about what kind of teaching style you have. At the end, you can grab a survey and actually go through it, so you can tell where you fall in this category. The authoritarian, the authoritative, and the submissive. So if you are an authoritarian teacher, you're quick to correct every behavior in your classroom. You may raise your voice to get your children's attention, and you make all of the decisions in your classroom. Authoritative, and your children are very obedient because they are afraid of you. So they go back. Authoritative, you have a good relationship with your students. Your children know when you are serious. You give children the opportunity to reason, but you have high expectations for them. Your children respect and love you. Okay, this is just research and stuff. Permissive, you are too nice. I don't think I'm really nice, so I don't agree with that. I have a little bit of all of them. Depends on the situation. Your main concern is that children love you. You just want them to love you. Is that you?
I love them too.
You give children several choices, even if it is to your own inconvenience. Your children run all over you. So this is just a brief. It's funny too, but it's true. What kind of teacher are you? Now, again, I don't think that one is, now if you're all permissive, then some days you might have some struggles because the children, you have to have some type of authority in your room. When I started out, I was very permissive because I don't want them to not like me, you know, if they don't like me. But I have a little bit of all three. Sometimes I have to be, no, you can't, no, I'm sorry, but you don't have permission to punch Johnny in the face. That's not going to happen. And I'm not smiling. I used to smile even when they're upset. Why did you punch him in the face? And they're like, because you're smiling. Yes, I did it. It took practice not to smile, you know, so don't smile. You know, and you don't have to scream. I'm going to tell you what works too. If you get really close to them might need to use it since you're a smiley person. And say, I am very disappointed that you did that. That is very, I'm not trying to scare them. I didn't scream at them, but they're like, whoo, she lowered her voice. She got quiet. Okay. So try that, okay? Okay. So in every situation, you have to pull out all of these hats. And sometimes you just have to let it go and be permissive. It's not worth the battle. I'll let you do that. Okay. So it's okay. God loves you. And I'm sure your children love you too. Okay. Please remember that you need to be submitted, have a plan, keep prayer in your life. Make sure you are reading the Bible and have that. Please, if you're in a Christian school and you never teach the Bible, I'm a little concerned.
Something's wrong.
Something is definitely wrong. Because I have parents that come to me and say, do you really teach the Bible? And I'm thinking, this says Crescent Christian Academy. But some parents are not Christians. They just want their kids in a safe environment. Thank the Lord they feel like it's in a Christian environment. But yes, we do teach them Jesus. They will know how to pray. So make sure you know that before you know. So if you are an atheist or I'm sorry, but your child is going to love Jesus. He's with us. So you have a walking minister, don't even know it. Create a dream classroom. Be the teacher that God created you to be. If it's permissive, you might just have to put a little bit of, just do an upside down smile sometimes. Teamwork makes the dream work. It takes a team. It really does. You can't do it all by yourself. You cannot do it all by yourself. Okay? Think about this. You don't have to answer it. But I hope that you all have at least one thing you can take back with you. Even if it's just, okay, I'm a good educator. I'm going to do different. I'm not going to smile as much. No, I'm just joking. I'm just kidding. We need more teachers like you. We really do. We have so many authoritative teachers that we need some teachers with some flexibility. So, thank you so much. And I told you I'm going to send you on that anyway. That is all. I hope you all had a great time. I enjoyed you all. Please make sure that you have signed in.